Renata Bernarde, and this is the Job Hunting Podcast, where I interview experts and professionals and discuss issues that are important for job hunters and those who are working to advance their careers. So make sure that you subscribe and follow, and let's dive right in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Job Hunting Podcast. My name is Renata Bernarde. I'm your host, and I am also a career coach. I'm the founder and director of the Pandora Academy. I have my website, renatabernarde.com, where you can go to find out more about my career services. And I have free resources for you, not only a whole library of episodes from the Job Hunting Podcast for you to peruse and find more information about whatever topics you're looking for. On the blog, you can search for specific topics like job interviews or job loss or, leadership. So go to my website, renatabernarde.com, and learn more about my services and my free resources for you. There's a link to it in the show notes below. And today I have a very casual chit-chat episode for you. I hope that you can hear the background sounds. There are birds singing, could be people making noise outside my door. Sometimes you can hear a plane flying. And I wanted you to be here with me. It's Saturday morning in Melbourne, and the plan is to go through my week, and share with you what I've done day by day. I love learning about people's routines and what they do and how they spread their energy throughout the week and throughout the day. And, learning from them is something that has helped me. And I hope that this kind of is interesting to you. I have no idea. Nobody has ever asked me to do this, but people do ask me a lot from time to time in my personal life, how do you do it? It seems like you do so much. And I don't feel like I do much. I feel like I'm very organized. So I have always known that I am probably more organized than most people. Having said that, there are parts of my life that are chaotic like everyone else's life. So there's no perfection here, but I like to plan ahead and I like to automate a lot of things. I would love to delegate more. And I do have 3 people that work with me now to enable me to do what I love to do, which is coaching and coaching for job search. That's what I really love to do. So I'm going to go through the week that I've had with you and share with you the ups and downs, the highs and the lows, and hope that you can, get something from this. Let's start with Sunday. Sunday was a lovely day. It was my first day back home from a trip that Andre and I did to Queensland. We went to the Gold Coast and we stayed there for a week. It was a hybrid trip. So we had a lot of fun and we rested, but I also took work with me. And that was really the first time since COVID started that I was able to test how it would be to do some work away from my office. And it went really well, I must say. We had great internet. Everybody was very okay with it. I had sessions with clients and I had some work that I had to do. And I did that at the dinner table. These are friends that hosted us and they know me very well. And they were totally okay with me just having to do a bit of work. And on and off, they were asking me, what are you doing? And some of it, of course, I can share. A lot of it, I can't. The work that I do is very much private and in confidence with my clients. So it was nice that I could go to my bedroom and then work from there as well. This is really important for me because the reason why I've anticipated my plans to become a career coach and work from home and have my own flexibility and autonomy is because I have family overseas. And I am planning very soon to go visit them. I have people in Miami that I want to visit ASAP and people in Brazil that not only I want to visit ASAP, but I want to stay there for quite some time. It's my mom and dad and my sister, and I haven't seen them for a long time. I'm sure that many of you listening can relate to this. A lot of us have now sort of global lives and global families, and it's been really hard to be away from them during this pandemic. So Sunday I came back to Melbourne on Saturday night, and Sunday was a day to reset, water all my plants inside and out. I was delighted that both my kids came to water my plants while I was away because I had just invested in some new plants and a new tree outside my door, and I didn't want them to die. And Melbourne in summer is really, really hot and dry. So it was lovely that they came, but yeah, we had to do that, do all the washing. And then I got on to work. We went out for breakfast. And I love having brunch, not just on weekends, I must admit. Sometimes we go out during the week as well. We love going out for breakfast or brunch. We start the day well when I do that. And we went to a new place, and that was not so good, to be honest. We didn't really enjoy it. We're not going to go back, but it's an adventure every time we go out and try to find a place that we have nice breakfast. And he loves eggs Benedict, and I'll have something else because I think eggs Benedict is a bit too fatty for me. And then I did a solid 6 to 7 hours of work, honestly. And that was because this week was the week that the group coaching was going to start. And I have 22 people registered, and I wanted to make sure that everything on my online platform was ready for them. So I had to move all of the previous students from the previous group coaching from last year out of the online teaching platform and into my alumni platform. They still have access to the content that I teach, but they are not in a group platform where there is interaction and sharing of information. So I have moved quite a few to the alumni platform. And some choose to do the course again. And that's something that I have allowed my students to do if they want to. And they may have, a new job, but they still want to make sure that they are up to date with my teaching, or they may want to redo it because they've kind of feel like they've missed out on doing it last time because life got in the way. There could be a reason, but most of them I have moved to the alumni platform, and I did that on Sunday. And so it's meticulous work. It's very technical. It's something that I enjoy doing, but I have to flow chart everything so I don't do anything wrong with the platform that I have. If you're interested to know, it's called Kajabi. It's where a lot of people like me teach online. And if you're interested one day in having a platform of your own, get in touch with me. I would be delighted to support you in that. And I have helped a lot of other coaches and even doctors and friends of mine. You can teach anything. You can teach yoga. You can teach whatever you want on Kajabi. And it's a great, robust platform to do that. And so I was exhausted after that very sort of meticulous technical work that I had to do. And after that, Andrea and I had dinner watching a lovely movie. Sunday night movies are important, and I try to always watch something positive and light and inspirational. And we watched The Tender Bar. George Clooney directed it. Ben Affleck is the star, together with this lovely boy. And it's a true story, and it's really inspirational, motivational, lovely. You go to sleep and you're happy. And I think that that's really important for job searchers out there, to make sure that you choose the right books to read and movies to watch during a time where other stresses may be affecting your well-being and your mindset. And I think people often underestimate the importance of surrounding yourself with good people, positive people, and also choosing where to focus your attention to make sure that you're in the right mindset for the week. So that was Sunday. On Monday, we had a very busy day. The first day back from holidays, as you know, is often chaotic, and I tried to reset as well. I wanted to make sure that I was doing all the things that I had been neglecting before I went on leave. So I started off with meditation, which I try to do every day in the morning. Then I did my exercise routine. It's a strengthening routine. It was provided to me by a sports physician that I try to do at least 3 times a week. I had my breakfast, and then 9 a.m. I had my first client session. Now, I often don't have sessions on Mondays with clients. I try to leave that as planning day and podcast day, but it had to be done, and I'm always available for my private clients on call if they need me. So I had a 9 a.m. session with a client, and I used the first half of the day after that session to do the most important and urgent calls and follow-ups that I could see in my email inbox. And you know what I mean? You have to really be thorough and make sure that you're not missing anything that's urgent. So a client that had some family issues, I wanted to make sure that she was all right. So I caught up with a few clients that had interviews this week to make sure that they were ready, and if they needed my help, they could touch base, which they did. And also for myself, I wanted to see a doctor, a specialist. I had a referral to see a specialist, so I made that booking, making sure, carving out the time for the important things and for yourself yourself first thing in the morning or first thing in the week, I think is really important. So by 11, I had done all of the urgent and important things for me and for my clients. And I had an important meeting that had been booked for quite some time with a team for a future project that I'll be doing that I can't really talk about right now, but it's really exciting and I'm excited about it. So that was at 11 and it was really an important thing. I was very excited about it. I am very excited about this project and it will mean a lot to my business to be involved in this opportunity. The afternoon, then I had to go through that whole bunch of emails and social media comments and messages that I received that I hadn't really checked during my time away. And that took all of my afternoon after I had lunch. And I also had a telehealth appointment. If you're not in Australia, you may have also these sort of Zoom doctor appointments with my specialist, and just a follow up, nothing major. And the podcast. So the podcast, the blog, and the newsletter are all done on Monday. There was a time when I thought I could batch those things, but with the pandemic, I've learned the hard way that I cannot write a newsletter to you a month before. It makes no sense to me. It needs to be up to date. It needs to be relevant to the week we're going through. And the world is in such a state of complexity and uncertainty that I prefer to write it the night before or even the morning of, if I can, if things are very much in turmoil. I am very lucky that I have a podcast editor, Sienna. If you're listening, thank you. You make me sound so good. You make all my guests feel so comfortable once you've edited the podcast. And I also have a wonderful VA, Camille, and she reviews Sienna's work and drafts the first newsletter to go out, just the template for me to write it. And that really makes it possible for me to have such a full day and then get things done at the end of the day only by reviewing the work that they have already done so beautifully for me. It really helps. And I went to yoga at 6 p.m. It was my first time doing yoga in many, many years. I love yoga. I've been doing yoga all my life. My mom is a yogini. She has taught me yoga and has been doing yoga since it was trending. And I'm not good at yoga, but I just love doing it. And my husband bought a yoga membership at a new place that opened near us. And that was my birthday present from January. And I'm very sore still. It's Saturday and I'm still sore because I'm so out of shape. But it was lovely to attend and I felt so good for doing it. On Tuesday, we had at 8 a.m. in the morning, the first group coaching session. So as I said, 22 people have joined. It meant I had to wake up early at 6:30, and I did not skip my meditation, but I did skip my exercise that day to make sure that I was comfortable with the setup on Zoom, that the reminder emails had gone out okay. We automate all of those things. And the session ran well. Last time I ran this session, I forgot to record it. It was really, really bad. So once I did it, it finished at 9:30. Andre asked, "Did you record it this time?" And I'm like, "Yes, it was I made sure it had been recorded." And then I had breakfast here at home and started working on teaching Camille, who has recently started working for me. She hasn't gone through the group coaching phase yet. So teaching her how to edit the video. We had a call in the afternoon to discuss all the week's priorities and, we're reviewing the business to business website. I have a website for Pandora that needs to be transferred from WordPress to Squarespace, and you don't need to know that level of detail, but it's a little bit of work that goes into it, and Camille is going to be in charge of that. Something really funny happened on Tuesday. I am trademarking my names, the things for my business, and I thought I was very late in replying to the trademark lawyer with a whole bunch of questions that she asked me, and the deadline was the 23rd. The deadline for submission, answering some questions that whatever the department has asked, was the 23rd of February. So I felt so bad, that I'm sending you this the day before. I hope there's enough time. And she said, no, it's the 23rd of February, 2023. So we have a year to reply. And I'm like, oh, Thank goodness. But now at least you have everything. And it was a lot of information. And it took me an hour and a half to collate everything and send to her. I wish I could have delegated it, but it had to be me. So I did that. And then in the evening, I had a client session because she was presenting to an interview panel the next day. And we did that presentation and I provided her with feedback. And that was very important. And I also had another meeting in the evening with the UK with another project, another new part of my business that I will be announcing soon. And that was very fruitful meeting as well. We thought about everything to do with marketing and announcing it and press releases and finalizing the contract and all of that. So it was a very, very long day. Started at 6:30 a.m. and I think I finished my last call at night. It was 9:30. But I had some times in between when I water my plants. I took a nap, I think, after lunch, just relax and close my eyes a little bit because I knew it was going to be a long day. So you have to find those times to make sure that you keep your energy up. Like you can't have a meeting with an important partner globally late at night and not be, with your brain and your mindset ready for that meeting. You have to be rested and ready to be as positive and thinking very clearly because it's very important and you can't make any mistakes when signing up on an agreement like that. So I went to bed, did not put my alarm for an early morning wake up on the next day on Wednesday. I didn't have anything early in the morning. So I, tried to sleep in, but I can never do that during the week. It's really funny how my body clock wakes me up at 6:30 regardless of what I try to do. And I went for a walk that day and I did my walk talking to my mom. Found out my mom had COVID. So, a year ago, I would have been so worried about my mom catching COVID, but now she's triple vaxxed and she was feeling fine. She was having a few symptoms, but they were like a mild cold. She's very healthy. Mom and dad eat really well and exercise and have a very good lifestyle. So I was, I felt good about that and I didn't worry so much. I can go visit them now. So if things get worse at any point in time, the Australian borders are now open. They had been closed for a long time. And in fact, there were very little flights that one could book to get out of Australia. It was quite bizarre and surreal. But since end of last year, things have started to change. In fact, if mom and dad want to come and visit me, I believe they can now as well. Not that they will. I want to visit them, but it has been quite a surreal time here in Australia. We've taken the pandemic and lockdowns really, really seriously. So after my walk, I put up a lot of effort in social media on Wednesday. I do a little bit every day, but Wednesday is my favorite day for social media. And if you have already downloaded my optimized job search schedule, you will see that I recommend LinkedIn on Wednesday mornings. And if I'm writing an article or doing anything, I try to do that on Wednesdays. And I do that for all my social media channels. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook group, of course, a group for this podcast, a private group of job seekers and people that are interested in their careers. And it's a safe environment. So if you're not a member of that group, I suggest that you become. And if you haven't downloaded the optimized job search schedule, then you can go to my website and do that now. So I try to focus on that on Wednesday mornings, just half an hour for me. I'm not physically on social media every day. I have a platform called Hootsuite that allows me to schedule all my posts. So I write them with Camille's help. Camille is excellent at writing posts and I review her posts and we send them out together. She duplicates for all of the platforms that we use on Hootsuite. And on Hootsuite, I can see likes and comments and I can comment from Hootsuite as well. So sometimes people think that I am on individual platforms, but I really don't have time to go to individual platforms anymore. I do that now sometimes because I want to support my partners, my collaborators, people like Michelle Redfern or Div Belay or, Mac Pritchard from the Dream Job podcast. The guests that come to my podcast, I want to collaborate with them, people like Cassie Goodman and also all the headhunters and recruiters that many times tag me to jobs that they are advertising or news about their businesses. The Slade group, Jeff Slade, Anita Zimmerman. I always like to, on Wednesdays, have a good look through everybody and support them. But my own personal posts and my business posts, I can do them on Hootsuite. So that's fantastic. I also worked on some documents from clients on Wednesday morning. So I helped a private client that was updating her LinkedIn. I have another client who had reviewed their resume and wanted my views. I had a couple of clients that were going for interviews this week and next, and they wanted my opinion. And I also had a client that had decided to resign from her job. This is an executive coaching client. So she was like, okay, I finally decided to resign. So can I ask you your opinion? And many times I will call them because I prefer to just on the phone discuss everything that they're curious to know my opinion about, or brainstorm ideas, have somebody that they trust to discuss things before making a big move. But many times I will also record videos of me looking at people's LinkedIn and showing them where I think their resume can be improved. And that tends to be very effective use of our times, because my clients are often busy. They're sometimes working or sometimes busy with kids. So calling them, during the day may not be a good idea. So I did that on Wednesday morning. I also had first meeting with a new client. It was a short meeting. It was just, it's a very senior client, and they wanted to be guided through the platform and what the next steps are. And I helped him decide on what the best routine would be for us to engage for the next 6 months. So he engaged me for a 6-month private coaching as he steps down from his current role and decides on what to do next. So that was lovely. And it's so nice. Some people think that I will engage every client that knocks on my door, and that's not true. Sometimes I can feel it's not going to be a good partnership for one reason or another. I may not be the right coach for what they're trying to do, and I will refer them to somebody else. Sometimes I don't feel that the trust is there. And in this case, I have a feeling it will be a wonderful experience for both of us. And we have a great rapport. And it's the second time I talk to him, and I really like how the conversation goes. So it will be fun for us. I then had a consultation with a former client. So this was a client with whom I worked, I believe, for 3 months. Can't remember exactly if it was 3 or 6 months. And she is overseas and she got a job and she's very happy where she is. And she was asking for my opinion about a specific issue she's facing at work. And she booked a consultation. So you can do that on my website. You just book a time with me. It's like when you book a doctor. You book a time, you find a time, you pay. And we had a 1-hour consultation, and I knew what the problem was. She had emailed me, and I sent her some homework to do before the consultation. And then by the time she reached me, it was really great, because we can then work on just finessing even more and making sure that it's the best, most effective use of her time, investment, and our time together. So that was great. Really enjoyed that conversation. Then I carved out time this week to attend a VIP cocktail party online. It was my first time on a cocktail party via Zoom, I must admit. It's a conference for business entrepreneurs like myself, organized by my own business coach, Steph Taylor, and I attended that. It was mastermind and a cocktail party with us getting to know each other, and Steph being the wonderful coach that she is, sharing a lot of great ideas for my business. During that 2.5-hour time, based on her teachings and the way that she explained things to me, I was able to create 5 new episodes for the Job Hunting Podcast, which I've already scheduled. So that was a really good use of my time. And after that, in the evening, I had a 30-minute prospect call. So prospect calls is when you go to my website, you think, I really want to be a private client and work with Renata on a retainer for some time to help, so that I can get help from her for my career. And you can book a free 20 to 30-minute chat with me to figure out if I'm really the best coach for you. And I will give you some tips as well on how we can move forward, and what the next steps are and what the investment would be. And so I had that conversation after my cocktail party. You will be happy to know it was a cocktail party, but I did not drink. So that was the end of my day. It finished at 7 p.m. and Andrea and I had dinner in front of the TV. I can't remember what we saw. I think we were saying Race. We've spent most of this week watching Race on Netflix. It's an amazing documentary, so inspirational. I even wrote a post today on Hootsuite. It's coming up at the end of the week about all the learnings from that. Not only, of course, Bubba Wallace is an indie African-American car driver, the only one driving at the Indy motorsport at the moment, and only the fourth so far for that type of race. And he took a step up from his role as car driver to an activist during the Black Lives Matter period, and he's been an amazing ambassador since then. But it's so inspirational, and you learn so much. And I think for job hunters and job seekers and anybody struggling with confidence and courage and purpose, it's a great series to watch on Netflix. I think it's 5 or 6 episodes, so totally worth your time. Thursday morning, I was presenting as a panelist on that conference that I attended, the VIP cocktail party the night before. And I was a speaker, so I prepared my notes and I attended the entire morning. I wouldn't say it's unprofessional, but very nice when you're a speaker at a conference and you only show up for that sort of spot that you're speaking at. I really like to support the organizers and to be of value to the attendees. It was a Zoom conference, so I hope every time that I attend that through the chat box, I can add value and be funny and be professional and be there for, sharing my advice or tips and ideas for other business entrepreneurs trying to do their businesses online like I am. So I attended the entire day, and I must say I really learned a lot from the previous guests, the previous speakers that were there, and I was really delighted and honored to be invited to speak. So it's a really different type of engagement for me. Usually I am invited to speak about job hunting, as you know. So many of you have found me because I was a guest on someone else's podcast about job hunting, or I spoke at an event about job searching and LinkedIn tactics for executives and so on. It's very rare that somebody asks me about my own business. So it was really interesting to share that. After that, I was tired because every time you present, you get really exhausted mentally from it. And I had my lunch and rested a bit because the rest of that day and Friday, that's usually my busiest time with clients. So I had a session with a client at 2:15. And then I had a lot of sessions all afternoon. And then at 6 p.m., I had the second session with the group coaching. And that's a Q&A and implementation session. So they can send me questions throughout the week, or they can ask me questions during our time together on Zoom. And that was a really lovely session. I really enjoyed it. The questions were great. Everybody can have a go at answering them as well. It's not just me. I often ask the participants, how would you do it? What have you done in the past? Is anyone else experiencing this issue? And it's really a more chit-chatty session for the group coaching than the Tuesday morning one. The Tuesday morning one is really me delivering on content and methodologies for job hunting, and the Q&A is really more about the group interaction and everybody learning together. So I finished my day at 7:30. You can see my days are really long and I love it. So it's not a problem for me. On Friday, I did my meditation. I did a bit of exercising as well. Usually I do Pilates on Thursdays, but because I was speaking at that conference, I had to cancel. So my week in terms of exercises was not as good as I hoped. I had my first client meeting at 8:30, and then I had a lot of client meetings all day, and also sprinkled in there I had, a doctor's appointment with my dietitian and my naturopath. It was all kind of very, very busy week medically for me. And it was all just a coincidence. These were, appointments. Were all follow-ups from many months or weeks ago. And I had my final client from 3 to 4. And after that, I do a lot of finance work. So, paying the bills and paying my salary, which I do fortnightly, paying everybody else's consulting fees, because I have, like I said, 3 people that support me. And I was exhausted. So Andrea and I went to a bar and I had a drink and we had some tapas, and I decided not to do any more work. You would think, oh, it's Friday, why would you work more? And I try to do as much as I can so I have weekends free. But when you have a week after a holiday or a semi-holiday like I have, sometimes it's not possible to do that. So this morning after I record this podcast, which is really not a lot of work, is it? It's just me chatting to you. I will try to record at least one more episode for 125, and I have a lot of notes that I need to update on my system. So all the client meetings that I have had during this week, those notes, I need to record them for my own sort of management of those clients. I need to remember where they each are in their journey towards their next jobs or the next goals, their next career goals. I have some follow-up emails that I need to send to clients. So sometimes I refer them to books or to articles or remind them of, special things that we need to work together before we catch up again for the next session. So to do that, it's really fun for me. I put some lovely music on, some lovely focus music from Headspace or background music that I love listening to. And I just do all of that. And I also need to do some catch up with Camille, because a lot of the things that we were hoping to do this week didn't happen. Her computer crashed, and Andrea and I sort of brainstorming ideas on how we can help Camille with some of the tasks that are too difficult for her laptop to do. And my business has a lot of video editing that needs to be done, uploading of videos into our platform and so on. So we're going to discuss that. And my son is coming here tomorrow. He's been helping me manage my business-to-business website, pantala.com.au, and we are going to work together to transition that from WordPress to Squarespace. So some of the work has spilled into the weekend. What can I do? It doesn't happen that often. I'm very precious about protecting my weekends, but this weekend will be a working weekend, and that's fine too. I had a wonderful time in Queensland, and I don't mind that happening. I'm really looking forward for, Sunday is my wedding anniversary. I'm looking at my calendar and I just realized 29 years together. Ooh, we need to do something. What will we do? I don't know. My husband is cooking. He's doing a cooking lesson via Zoom on Sunday morning, and he's cooking a beautiful meal. He's in fact now out doing supermarket shopping to do that cooking lesson. And maybe that's what we'll do to celebrate 29 years of being together. That would be fantastic. Next week is going to be really exciting. I have a few things that I'm doing that's very excited about. One of them is I've engaged a PR consultant to help me relaunch my business-to-business arm of Pantala. So that is outplacement and helping businesses when they want to support the people that are leaving. And I have already been working with businesses doing that through renatabernarde.com. I just want to do it through a proper website that's designed for them. I feel like renatabernarde.com and the work that I do is talking directly to the job hunters and not to companies. And that's what we're going to do next week with this PR woman, amazing, Michelle, who's going to be helping me. And I've also engaged somebody, a wonderful woman called Mel, to support me in creating better copies that are really interesting to read when people sign up for resources like the optimized job search schedule, so that the emails that you get from me are really exciting for you to read. And she's going to review what I've been doing and give me some great ideas on what to do next. And look, that's how I do all the things that I do. I love delegating and hiring people and reinvesting the money into things that I know will make my business better and better each day. If you have any ideas for me that can help me make my business and my podcast and the services that I provide to job seekers better and better each day, please never hesitate to get in touch. Sign up for my newsletter, reply to any of the newsletters that I sent you with your notes and ideas and your comments. I read everything. And I love getting feedback. Most of the feedback I get is really great. So constructive feedback is also welcomed. Never shy away from please telling me what you think is missing out from the services that I provide, because that's how I learn and that's how I can serve you and others like you. Thank you so much for listening to this chit chat. As you can see, it was very casual. I left the door open. I wanted you to feel like you were here with me on a Saturday morning. It's a beautiful sunny day in Melbourne, and I'm about to go and get changed because my son's fiance is coming here and we're going to the beach. Yes, we're going to the beach. We're going to swim, and then the two of us are going to have dinner together. So that would be a lovely thing to do today, and a very girly thing to do as well. I have a husband and two boys, and it's lovely to have a girl in the family to do some girly things with me from time to time. Thank you for listening, and I will see you back next time with a more structured episode, I promise. Bye for now.